Delete. Okay. Do monetization on. It should be live now. Okay, hold on. View your channel. There we go. Let's see. Boom. Monetization on. My OBS blew up. So sorry if you got an alert in the morning, Joe. I need to change this to live chat. And then we're going to go to the scanner. Penny, there is no reason. It is too early in the morning. It is Thursday, March 14th. Morning, Mark. I got a message from YouTube last night. Start charging memberships. You can make more money. VOO. We got another cross up on VOO, which is bullish. God, this is just that's a monster chart. Let me see brokerage holdings, if anything. Outside of that stuff. Snowflake. I said it before. I mean, I've said it before. That's textbook right there. Textbook buy low, sell high. Let's see, Bitcoin and crypto. See if anything crossed up here. Nope. I mean, it's just bullish, so I should have. Let me make sure I have it. MicroStrategy on here, crypto ETFs. I'm going to edit. And we're going to put MSTR. We want to make sure MSTR is in there. Morning, Scott. And let me scan it again real quick. MicroStrategy is just a monster. I mean, I showed it yesterday or a couple of days ago, maybe. I mean, even if, let's just say on this day, you decided to get in at the open price of $15.44. What? That was 2 days ago? You're up 15%? I mean, that's nuts. I mean, that look at this. We'll look at MSTR. That's just a monster. I know I gotta look it up, but I know PPI just came out. I mean, we're green. There's so much green. Did NVIDIA turn around? Not yet, but it's going to. God. SMCI is down 1%. I like it. I mean, SMCI. it just keeps confirming, but it's on lower volume. RSI has come down, not tremendously, but okay, Bitcoin ETF, core investments we already did, covered calls. JEPQ, QYLE, XYLG. That's the same as yesterday. I wonder if my scan is just kind of going back a day sometimes. Oh, energy. UCO, FANG, Albemarle, Cord, Oxy, LAC. Let me make sure I have LAC in here. Let's see. We're going to put this LAC. LAC is up in pre-market 20%, just based on energy names. Yeah, it's in there. It's up at $6.85, which takes it up here, which, I mean, at 7, it kind of capitulated right there between December. I mean, if we bring this back, let me see. If we bring this back to kind of where it dropped and then came back up on December 8th, you've got some pretty good volume here at 650, which is where it's trading right now. I'm sorry, it's at 684. So if you bring the volume back here, this is not going in the podcast, but because I don't think that lithium all of a sudden has gotten a huge leg up. But if we just pull this back here, let's pull it back one last candle. There's nobody holding up here. So there's no reason to think that that gap, morning Rabid Badger, there is no reason to think that that gap has any reason to fill. I mean, you look, and the volume is between 625 and 680, and you're trading at 686. So I still don't think that lithium has a place that's hit a bottom, but I could be wrong. I just don't follow that space a ton. UPRO, SVXY, SPXL. Oh, I do want to look at, let me see, YouTube. Let me look up the compound. There we go. The compound. Josh Brown. This is the compound that I want to look at. This is it. No, that's not it. That one. No, it was Thursday, I think.
Next week I'm paying Verizon, Netflix, Disney,
No,
whatever it is.
this isn't it.
Right.
That was live streamed. It was Thursday's podcast. Let me see. I'm subscribed to it. But it was 5 days ago. I think this is it.
This is my shine box.
No, it is. It's primer. It's anti-shine.
You insulted him a little bit. You insulted him.
In India, he's like, this is not back office. We're
No,
like
this
making
is-
huge investments.
There's some serious
All
money
right.
going there.
I
This
like
is
that
it.
story. They seem to be enjoying it. Like the
Where's the
Indian
transcript?
politicians, the Indian business people.
They-
It's a
they're-
moment.
They're in the spotlight because everyone's angry at China.
Like Apple is kissing this guy's ass.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to be in India now.
That's the next big growth story.
Okay, I love that. All right. Then you're watching the U.S. dollar. JC's
how do
a
I
big
find
dollar
this?
versus stocks guy.
breaking down.
A lower dollar would be nice.
It is.
especially for
It's
international
going
stocks.
lower.
It's-
Helps everybody, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much.
think lower
Look at
dollar
this.
is always
Look,
good for
it's,
risk
it's
assets.
rolling.
We'll see. I mean, the longer term, it's what kind of sideways over the last year and a half.
That's
but-
what they want. That's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
Over the last week or so.
Yeah.
Alpha Architect High Inflation and Deflation ETF. That's one.
Yeah.
HIDE.
High inflation and
Yeah.
deflation.
How does that work?
I think they position the fund
Oh, it
based on
rotates.
should we go into real assets or should we be into more growthy type assets?
Okay, so you're following these right now because they're important or they're tied to some of the major themes in the market.
Exactly.
And then you're trying to like gauge what's happening with price, what's happening with flows.
This is a great, by the way. Good morning, John.
Reasons for the BIL.
I'm gonna get dinged probably on.
Flows to equity
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
That's exactly right.
And there's a whole spectrum of cash-like ETFs. So if it starts to see from BIL, do I start to see from other related products, and does that contribute to the FOMO?
Team, they mention a small cap ETF that basically looks at the next.
Guess how much assets is in that?
Billion.
$1.4 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's out of control.
That's top
$1.4 billion.
top quartile of ETFs.
Yeah, they're talking about NVDL.
Twice the daily return of NVIDIA.
It's
that
a-
will end badly.
It's a day trader dream.
What kills that historically is either obviously a big correction in Nvidia, but if Nvidia just stops stops going up,
The decay.
then
kills
you'll
it,
have the
yeah.
decay too.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't wish that on anyone. What are we saying about stock market apathy?
So
I don't see that as much these days. Do you?
not as much recently,
Yeah.
but
I wonder why.
They're not
That's
selling
a-
stocks.
that's
It
on
comes in
video.
their checking account.
that makes sense.
Everything is up. What are they selling? Honestly, I'm not even joking around.
Apple. He's hungry after school, and here you go. And he's just going to town.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
not
big
even
deal.
hungry
Don't fear a low
He doesn't
VIX.
care.
But can I say
Yeah,
one?
so I don't need Bamontes. I've got
Can
my
I-
M&Ms.
Can I say one thing though?
This
I
is
would say
a.
Elizabeth Holmes. It's Elizabeth Banks. You're right. It's the largest non-S&P company that could make the
This
that
is-
could make the
you
S&P.
Just look at this.
So it's KKR.
Okay.
Slightly bigger than.
Yeah.
All right. So it is broadening definitively.
Yeah. So it's all about the bench. We have an index that masks a lot of what's going on, right? The biggest stocks have
Let's
the
see
most
this chart.
influence.
The bench is essential for 2024.
Yeah. So
Okay. What's the bench?
the ben-
Equal
if-
weight.
equal weight S&P 500, Russell 2000, and one of my favorite underrated funds, the Vanguard Extended Market.
Did you see I have this in the bottom of the doc?
I did.
Can we do it now?
VXF.
I have
CrowdStrike.
I have newly discovered this.
This is a fantastic ETF.
This is the
Josh invented this.
You invented this.
Michael Santoli told me to look at it. I
This is
asked
it.
Aloud on the air, will CrowdStrike be the next S&P 5? First, I called Sean from the desk. I'm like, Sean, you have 30 seconds. What's the largest?
Let me make sure this
non-S&P
is in
company that
this
could make
Vanguard
that
list.
could make the S&P?
Just look at this.
So it's KKR.
Okay.
Slightly bigger than
Yeah.
CrowdStrike. But those are 1 and 2, and then Snowflake is 3. But this index, this is the largest Russell 1000 companies that are not yet in the S&P. What an amazing hunting ground for names.
This was a really cool fund when Tesla wasn't in the S&P.
Yeah, I remembered it from them. But
This is it.
so these
VXF.
CrowdStrike, Snowflake, Workday, Marvell.
I mean, look at that. So we're gonna take a look at that one. To look for next S&P ads. I mean, this just here. I'll link this. If you haven't listened to this, good morning, Larry. If you haven't listened to this episode is fantastic of the compound. And this particular section where they talk about VXF. Here, let's go over here and we'll look at VXF. I mean, look at that. That's moving up with everybody. It's such a good, if we look at the holdings, CrowdStrike, Snowflake, Workday, Marvell, KKR, Apollo, Cheniere, Atlassian, which is Team, Ferguson, Datadog. Total holdings, number of holdings, 3,618. It is diversified as F. I mean, CrowdStrike is the largest with 1%. But when you look at the charting of this one, and we'll look at the S&P, this is what you want to look at. What's performing in short term? This one might actually start to outperform the S&P because it's got to catch up. So that's what they were basically talking about, is look at the top holdings of this thing, and it might actually start to catch up. So, and what they were saying is, I guess Josh Brown was saying, hey, here, I'll start this. Let me see, share. We'll start it at 48 minutes. Copy. And I'll put it in here. I was listening to this yesterday. Great Compound and Friends with Josh Brown about VXF. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to close that. That's the store. So, okay, we were on leveraged ETFs. Morning, Niles. Morning, Hung. Welcome back, Hung. Let me I'm doing my notes. I wanted to look for that this morning, but I didn't get a chance. So, leveraged ETFs, low-cost Vanguard. We'll scan this one. SPY, VIG. ETFs, SPY, VIG, VOO. Spider sectors. Let's see if anything crossed up. Doubt it. Oof, BRK. Oh, ho, 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 ho. BRK.B gets another bump. XLF, XLG. Snow just had a cross up, Hung. I'm buying more. Well, I bought some at a higher price. I mean, I'm going to buy more down here. I play Snow between 150 and 200. I just add. And when it gets to 200, I sell. But I didn't sell everything. I shouldn't say I sell everything, but Zscaler, Datadog, and Snowflake. My not owned list, which is significantly larger. Oof. Wayfair. God, I like that company. Marriott, Goldman Sachs, Oxy Snow, Sundial, Hilton. I mean, that's a chart right there. Oof. We'll go Dow. And then I've got to start doing some Travelers, TRV, and Goldman Sachs we already have. Let's look at NASDAQ 100. This should get a bunch. SOUN, I mean, Charlie from Zip Trader was talking about it last night, Zephan. SOUN is, if you want to see a pump and dump, it's Charlie's video. Because he basically was talking about how they're going to buy them. And I doubt that they put a couple of $1 million into them. But what he did bring up, which was really interesting, was, and I probably will forget to bring this up, but SOUN is going to be on March 18th next week. They're going to be a major presenter at the conference where NVIDIA's presenting, and NVIDIA's basically invited them up on stage. That's the report to present. So that's huge. I mean, that's very big. So I that's why the stock pumped last night. I mean, it's one of those that you could go to 50. I have a couple of stocks. It's funny because I have a couple of stocks. Here's my note. Just to prove I know nothing, look at GCT. Also look at HEAR, which was just asked about yesterday, where I said it's not worth the risk. HEAR is up like 20% on bad earnings because they said they were going to buy somebody or something. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, let's stop. Scan it again. It should only be 100 stocks. This should not take this long to scan. You know what? Let me relog in. There it is. Okay. It's taking a while. It's funny. If I were to send TrendSpider a message right now. Well, what browser are you using? Safari. Try using Chrome. They are so anti-Chrome. Anti-Safari, sorry. Goldman Sachs and MasterCard. Okay, MasterCard. That's interesting. I mean, look at Goldman Sachs just waiting to break out. General Dynamics. Boo, 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 boo. Yes. And we'll go to the 4-hour. Bullish bites from... I think Microsoft's a good one. I mean, can't argue. I said get it close to 400. I mean, it's just... Look... I mean, that's what I put in the chart. You got divergence where you're just putting in this range, but it's clear this one's going down, this one's going down. It's kind of changed a little bit of direction while you've gotten a couple of candles of confirmation. I don't think that Microsoft's valuation includes OpenAI right now. They own 49% of OpenAI. OpenAI by itself is going to be $1 trillion company. So that's $500 billion in market cap added to Microsoft. Had to turn on my do not disturb. I don't know that it would pop. The problem you have with a pop is that market cap already is $3 trillion. Those don't pop without news. And I'm just not sure where the news might come from, but target price is $469. Most recently, $471. $466 here in December. HSBC in October, they're going to have to raise their price target. Loop Capital, they're going to have to raise their price target. I mean, that's Gene, I think it's Gene Munster. 347 in September. Boy, you look dumb. Raymond James in July and all these guys who came out in July and moved them from 300 to 400, you're going to have to up your estimates now. So my guess is you see a good move. I mean, mark this. It's Thursday, March 14th. This time next year, you'll be at 450. I mean, you'll be putting in a floor at least at 450. Yeah. Yeah, but here, look at this. I mean, you look at, we'll just go and look at Google because I want to chart this one against Microsoft, because you look at Microsoft and Google together, and we're going to look at a short-term chart because it's been 1 month of bad news for Google, right? That was when look at this. That's 1 month. Microsoft's up 2%. Google's down 3%. You don't think that Google with the same thing? It was even shown that Sonos or whatever from I forget the Soro or something from OpenAI. It was shown that gives the same gender and diversity bias that Google's did. And Microsoft hasn't seen the backlash of that one. So one of two things. Either Microsoft has to come down or Google has to come up. You look at Microsoft here. If we look at Google, I've been saying buy this under 150. I think you're trailing back to 150 on this. I mean, you want to talk about a pop. This one's the one to pop. Microsoft, PE 37, forward PE of 31. Google, which does have some liability with the search, they could get dinged on search. Their forward PE is only 17, and they don't have to lead. I mean, Microsoft can continue to lead, but and then you look at Meta with their forward PE is 21. So of the big tech companies, my assumption is that Microsoft is probably in the strongest position because they've been the one that's monetizing Copilot and stuff. I don't think Google's really put that. Oh God, Tesla. Tesla's just I love my Tesla. I love that car. The stock can't get out of its own way. I mean, God. I did buy more Shopify yesterday, by the way. Okay, I'll be right back. That's funny. CNBC's posting stuff. Oh, hell yeah, Ben. Hell yeah, Meta jumps past 500. Are you kidding? Where go around I think you're a student. Go around your school. How many people are on TikTok? If they can't get TikTok, trust me, your generation will find a way to get TikTok. But if it's banned in this country and you can't get it, Apple will not be able. You'll have to jailbreak your iPhone to do it. So there's going to be a lot of people who aren't willing to do that kind of stuff. And where are they going to get their social media from? I mean, you're talking 6 to 8 hours a day of social media for the average person. Average, I should say, heavy user. of social media. Where are they going to go? I mean, it ain't like you join your Uncle Ralph on Facebook talking about, Trump's war on freedoms, or you're joining, Elon Musk on his war on the woke mindset. I mean, that guy just annoys the hell out of me. I love Tesla, but man, he annoys the hell out of me. God, everything is a war with him. That's part of the story of Tesla, and even if I agreed with him, which on some things I do agree with him, because let's just say I do agree with him on some things, but God. Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, Ben. And don't tell me there's not Steve Mnuchin, who was the one who first tossed out the ban on TikTok to Trump. Trump didn't want to do it, and the reason he didn't want to do it because he was pissed at Meta the whole way along. He thought Meta and was way too strong, and he still believes that today. But they had tossed out banning TikTok. He loved Twitter. He would never ban Twitter. But he was afraid of setting a precedent that would enhance and make those companies stronger. And so he didn't want to ban TikTok. And that was way back then. I mean, it pretty widely reported as the quote-unquote rumor. But Mnuchin was the guy who did that. Ironically, guess who's looking to buy TikTok right now? Steve Mnuchin. Not ironically. I mean, if that's not insider buying, where there's some political manipulation on this thing, the reason I would agree that TikTok gets banned is if there's some type of information, and we haven't seen it, that they're actually manipulating people's minds and data. What's suspicious is they haven't moved the servers out of China. They've been asked to move the servers out of China, and they've said no. I don't understand it. That's a nice, simple thing. But ByteDance, which is the owner of TikTok, has a tremendous amount of other business in China. They don't want to upset the Communist Party. They upset the Communist Party. TikTok is a very small portion of ByteDance. ByteDance overall, if they upset the Communist Party, they could get, as a company, could get killed. So, yeah. Okay, let me go over and look at Seeking Alpha, because I think it's the PPI stuff that I want to put. Producer price comes in hot. Coming in hot. PPI comes in hot. We'll put that up top. PPI coming in hot. Okay, we're going to open up our links. Real quick, let me see if there's anything. Palantir CEO blast short sellers. Yeah, Mnuchin says putting together group to buy TikTok. Douche. China response, take this will inevitably backfire in the U.S. Yes, of course. Make it reconsider U.S. Steel $30 a share bid. Update. Yeah. Let's see. There's an update. That Biden admin tried to put U.S. Steel, Cliff Steel together, but decided it wasn't possible. Said he would consider bidding for U.S. Steel in the 30s a share if given the opportunity. Okay. Ignore this for now. It means nothing. U.S. Steel is, I mean, they received $54 per share. It is crashing, and even in pre-market, it's at 39. I would expect this to go down to probably 34, 35. There's only one buyer, and the only buyer is Cleveland Cliffs. And Cleveland Cliffs, that's going to dip under 20 because people are worried that they're going to make a bid for it. Yeah. I think that's the story there. So, okay, we're going to open up these links. Let me open these up. Super micro. We got another super micro. We've got X. We've got Tesla. We've got Palantir. We've got here. We've got Fisker. We've got Apple. We've got Hood. We've got Lennar. We've got Path. We've got Sentinel-1. We've got PEG ratio, which is good because I want to bring that up. We got the biggest movers of the day. And then we've got PPI coming in hot. We've got the Compound and Friends.
About the Russell 2000 as a reason why things aren't at.
Just a couple weeks.
Okay. And I'm going to move this over here. And then YouTube. Okay. We've got more office hours with Jason. We're going to look at the Qs. Sentinel-1, yeah. Steven, you were on the private, the paid group yesterday. I said I was nervous about Sentinel-1. I was nervous about Path. I was wrong about Path. I was right about Sentinel-1. I mean, you can't get them right all the time, but CPI complements PPI. So CPI is consumer, PPI is the producer. CPI came in hot and the market ignored it. PPI comes in hot, market ignores it. It's not about, it's less important right now because next week's Fed meeting, Chris, trading Path on earnings, that was brilliant. I mean, the second you saw Path pop, you could trade that on a 5-minute chart because it was so good. It was astoundingly good. And I'm pretty sure it's going to get to 30 if it's not already. But we'll take a look at it. But PPI and CPI, they don't hold much weight because next week's Fed meeting is already set, Ben. Nobody thinks that there's going to be a rate hike. Nobody thinks there's going to be a rate cut. There might be some things said, and we should get a look at whether it's going to happen in May or it's going to happen in June. But I don't think anybody cares at this point if it happens. They're just saying it's going to happen. And so money is just pouring in to the market. So that's where I think we're at. Okay, let me start this podcast because my ass does have to get. I spent 3.5 hours on my lawn yesterday. I probably got about another 2 hours, but I got to go driving around to Home Depot, deliver a homeowners association check, and prepare for visitors for the weekend. Okay, let me start this mofo. Good morning. It's Thursday, March 14th. It's PPI day. PPI, PP. That douche, Meet Kevin. If you haven't, don't even Google him. Don't do it. But Meet Kevin was a guy who kind of scammed a bunch of people on during the pandemic about how he was brilliant at finance and he started his own ETF and I think it was PP. But I mean, just a brilliant failure of a grifter. Yeah. Speaking of grifters, we had our paid newsletter Zoom yesterday. I'm not a grifter. I did up the price of the newsletter. So, but the newsletter is free. Again, it's here. If you go here, sorry, that's TrendSpider. If you go here, it's the fifth link down, newsletter. It's dailystockpick.substack.com. I spent two and a half hours yesterday, I think, with folks, maybe 2 hours. It's a video. We went over Shopify. I bought Shopify. I almost bought NVIDIA. It didn't go through. There will be more sessions, live sessions. I kind of quoted in here, hey, they may be unplanned because finding setups is tough to trade live. I don't trade with $500,000. You're going to be lucky to make 1% in the stocks that I trade in an hour or two. And I don't feel like sitting there watching charts. So if I'm sitting there watching charts and I'm looking at stuff, I'll start a Zoom meeting. And so the paid members will get an email. And so if you want, sign up. But the key point is that everybody should be signed up for the free one because the free one is really good. I outline charts. I outline everything. Yes, you get ads every now and then. You get the links to the podcast. And then you got all the notes on stuff. So it's all the notes that I use to do the podcast. So it's a perfect complement. If you're listening, why not sign up? Again, dailystockpick.substack.com. Let's go over some stuff. First off, the TrendSpider sale is still going on. It is for another 3 days. It is $595 for 12 months. One of the things that you may want to do, if you don't believe me how good TrendSpider is, hop on today at 11 o'clock, March 15th. I think it's 11 o'clock. Jason has, live in 25 hours tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jason has office hours. And Jason is the master at TrendSpider. Many people that I've got that have bought my through my link and have my 4-hour algorithm hop on here. Jason helps you. It is a one-on-one. It's completely free. If you don't have TrendSpider, hop on office hours. Ask Jason to show you some of the things that it can do. You guys see what it can do for me. So one of the things for everybody who signed up, there, I'll put this link in the newsletter. There's a new TrendSpider store. And what this store has are additional add-ons. There are trending indicators. There are trending strategies. There are trending scanners. So scanners and strategies. Strategies are the algorithm. That's what it is. So you can see there's several on here. All of these that you see right now are free. This is an experiment from TrendSpider to actually start selling, to allow creators like me who create algorithms and things like that to sell it to other TrendSpider users. So, there are great strategies in here. Here's Apple, a candle pattern built for long-term positions in Apple's QQQ, tailored for long-term positions in QQQ. Performance, 41%. Win rate, 58%. Average drawdown is only 9%. You win 58% of the time on this one. Tesla, 104%. Win rate, 39%. Your average drawdown, 22%. Here's Google. Here's Netflix. Here's another Tesla one. SMA pullback. These are all strategies that are designed to help you trade. And you can download them for free. Here's trending scanners. You can try the Strat Scanner. You can try 2 symbols found in the Dow Jones, 3 symbols in the S&P 500, Ben Bennett's. It's free. Again, these are free. There are some paid ones. Up here, you can see new indicators that you have. These Chandy's indicators, go, no go charts. A lot of these are, you can see TrendSpider and experimental momentum strategies. All of these are some of these are paid, but the majority of these right now are free. It is a test, and I think it's a great test. In fact, I'll probably sell my 4-hour algorithm up there, but you can get it for free if you sign up for TrendSpider through me. I was listening to a great podcast yesterday, The Compound. Will it end badly? I will include the link to the portion that I actually liked on this one, and it was going over an ETF, VXF. And what I'll do is I'll go here. This is the key to VXF. It's not the chart. This is an extended market index fund from Vanguard. So it's low cost, doesn't necessarily beat the S&P. But what this is a who's who of who's going to get added to the S&P. And that's what they talk about in the compound. It's a great ETF. Now, understand, I am not investing in this ETF. I want to know its holdings because its holdings are what's important. It has 3,618 holdings. So you are extremely diversified in this. 22% technology, 15% industrials. Those are the two leading sectors of the year. Financials, which is the third, 15%. So this is the Extended Market Index ETF, VXF. I thought it was incredibly good. I thought it was incredibly insightful. I will link to this episode so that you can listen to it. I really like this. Producer Price Index. This is the complement to the CPI. Came in hotter, just like CPI. What'd the market do? Hold my beer. We're going higher. In the pre-market, we're trending up. In the pre-market, the NASDAQ trending up 0.15, S&P 0.22, the big winner, Dow 0.31. Take a look at it. The biggest movers of the day, Dollar General. Dollar General killed it. 6% increase in sales. Unlike Dollar Store, Dollar General killed it. Robinhood surged more than 11% based on their average trading volume in February. You can't argue with Hood. Hood is now officially out of the oh my God, it's going to go bankrupt. I still am not a fan of Robinhood. If you want to watch a documentary on Netflix, Eat the Rich, there's a bunch of them out there. I think Robinhood conspired with Citadel to actually screw over the GameStop investors. I won't go with them. I think they've turned a decent business into a good business. Still, it's expensive. I mean, it is expensive. If you want Hood, who's not making money, they're losing $540 million with a forward PE of 62. And you won't add Schwab with a forward PE of 15, who's making $4.65 billion? I mean, why are you going into Hood where you can go into Schwab? Now, Schwab's not going to go to 120. Does Hood go up to 25? Maybe. I mean, maybe. Hood, if you look at the weekly on Hood, I mean, we haven't even reached, I don't think we've reached the 200-day on this one. No, you don't have a 200-day. Your 50 days just started to move positive. I mean, at its IPO, it was at 42. Will it get up there? I don't know. I mean, they've got a good hype cycle that's going on. That's one of the biggest movers of the day. Now, biggest loser? Fisker. And we'll go into this a little bit because there's another article on Fisker. It's going bankrupt. MKPHD on YouTube. They can blame him all they want, but it's a shitty car. I love the design of these cars. Henry Fisker is just a shady dude. And I don't trust that they did their software right. They should have just put Apple CarPlay in there. They should have put Google CarPlay in there. They should have worked with Apple, just like they worked with the manufacturers. They should have worked with the software designers to design this car. Fisker could have been the Apple car. Futu Holdings is down by 11%. Hello Group, Momo, plummeted 15% following the release of mixed Q4 earnings. So those are the biggest movers of the day. We will go over this in a little bit, but I did want to note, I will post this in the newsletter, the tech and communication latest quant stocks. AMD took over the top spot at 4.89. Manhattan Associates from yesterday moved down a couple, but Monday, MNDY is up there at 4.55. Splunk is still up there. Zoom, ANET, AppLovin, SMCI, and Google, they're all still up there, so I'll put it in there. One thing that I did on the live yesterday with some folks, I bought Shopify. I've been telling you, get Shopify while it's under 80. Algorithm got you in here at 75. I think I bought it at 78. Finally got confirmation yesterday. I just bought it. I think you'll see this gap from 83 to 90 get filled. I do, before it goes to its next move higher. It is expensive. It is incredibly expensive. This is for long term. This isn't short term. And this was an ad. This wasn't a new position for me. This is an add to an existing position. I'm just buying it a little higher. If we look at the weekly on this, you'll see we're just hitting the 200-day. We're not above that 200-day. That 200-day has been used as resistance. So once it turns into support, I'm in the money. It will turn into support. Understand, this one is incredibly expensive as well. The forward PE is 57. The PE is 872. They're fine. They're making some money. They're up 1% year to date. They haven't taken off. I don't expect them to take off. The average target price is 84. You're trading at 78. I think you hit 90. Now you look, it's a bunch of downgrades. I think that I like their strategy. I like their management team. I like the product. They're making money. I think it's all good. So, I almost bought NVIDIA and I almost bought SMCI. I will tell you, I think SMCI has a better setup than NVIDIA, but don't discount next week's March 18th. NVIDIA has a presentation. Don't discount the hype that could bring NVIDIA. Again, the market cap that these guys have had is just incredible, but don't discount the hype that might bring. Let's talk about PEG ratio. The price to earnings growth rate is a valuation metric that helps investors and analysts evaluate a company. This is from AI, by the way. A company's performance and investment risk. All of this will be in the newsletter. So if you don't get it, just read the newsletter. It's calculated by dividing a stock's earnings growth rate over 5 years by its price to earnings ratio. The PE ratio is calculated by dividing a stock's per share market value by its per share earnings. The PEG ratio is represented by the formula PEG ratio equals earnings per share growth divided by price divided by earnings per share. Earnings per EPS equals earnings per share. What's a good PEG ratio? A PEG ratio of less than 1 can indicate that a stock is undervalued and a potential buy, while a PEG ratio of more than 1 can indicate that a stock is overvalued. Well, Shay posted this. Despite its 86% year-to-date rally, the NVIDIA PEG ratio is only the third highest among the Magnificent Seven. This is why you follow Shay and others on Twitter, is they post great stuff like this. I wouldn't think to look at the PEG ratio. I wouldn't think to, monitor my stocks this way, but you can see Apple, which I just bought a ton of, not happy. It's at 2.8. They're going to have to grow. I don't know where they're growing. It's a long-term buy. I'm not too worried about it, but that's a little concerning. When I just bought it, doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and sell it. Just a little concerning. Microsoft 2.6, a little concerning, but they have AI. Apple hasn't even ventured into the AI stuff. 1.9, NVIDIA, that's not horrible. Tesla 1.8 still has problems. Amazon to 1.7, just buy it under 180. Just buy it under 180. Meta at 1.6, they're going to continue to grow. The problem that you have with Meta is if Trump does get in office, you got to be worried about some type of attack on Meta, which would ding that stock significantly. And Google's sitting back. We just talked about Microsoft versus Google. I think Google's one of the best bets down here, except you're going to have to sit with some of their, oh my God, they're losing search revenue. So you're going to have to deal with the volatility of this one. But at 136, were you buying? If you weren't buying at 136, I don't know why you're buying at 141. But at 141, it's not a bad long-term play. So take a look at that. We were looking yesterday at Cardinal Health, which is a Alpha Pick. Alpha Picks does have, for members, tomorrow they will have a webinar, a live webinar with their new pick tomorrow at 4 o'clock, so you can register. If you're not an Alpha Picks member, you can register on my link tree down here. It's the third link, Alpha Picks. They beat the S&P by a long shot. Just go to that link, subscribe now. It's 2 data-driven stock picks per month. So they release one on the 1st of the month. They release one on the 14th of the month. The actual portfolio, they tell you when to sell. The actual portfolio is just basically blowing away the S&P. But we were looking at Cardinal Health. It got dinged yesterday, and there is no news that I could find other than a transcript of somebody presenting at a conference. It's a 52-week high. That's March 11th. There's no news on Seeking Alpha other than this transcript of the CFO, I think. Something happened, and it happened in the middle of the day. And I still don't know what happened, but take a look. I mean, you've lost the confirmation there for anybody that got in as part of the alpha groups. I would be a little bit afraid of this 108 gap being done. But if you're buying for the long term like Alpha Pix does, I mean, you're just kind of, it's not losing a ton. Alpha Pix is still a strong buy. Wall Street says hold. That hold rating has not changed from Wall Street. You still got 2% upside to their 113 price target. So, and you can see it hugs right along that price target. So I would believe the price target from them. I think it's a good one, but it did get, the algorithm will probably get you out. What likely is going to happen is that the algorithm will get you back in, and that's an opportunity to get into your alpha pick. Sentinel-1, we talked about 2 yesterday. Sentinel-1 and UiPath. So Sentinel-1 plunged 13%. They are down, 12.24%. Just bad. It was just bad. Issued weaker than expected guidance. I mean, that's it. Their earnings were ho-hum. Revenue 181 versus 181.5 estimate. That's not great. That's, just kind of beating it. But it was the weak guidance that killed it. So again, CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks, I think those are the 2 in the cybersecurity, and Zscaler. I think those are the 3 in the cybersecurity realm that you can invest in. Now, UiPath, I said I was nervous about UiPath. I had no reason to be nervous about UiPath. We can go to Path. I believe that this one is up in pre-market. It is, let's see. No, it's pulled back, it looks like. 24.38. Yeah, in aftermarket, I mean, if we go to the extended hours, let's just go to the 5 minute. Something happened here because it just pulled back. This was up, way up. And I think it was Chris that said he traded this on earnings. Yeah, this was way up. This was up here at 26. It got all the way. I said it could cover that gap to 30, but it's just come down. I mean, it's just lost its way. Again, I think this shows the volatility of earnings in the after hours. You got all the way up here at 26. You were expected, 5 o'clock this morning. You were like, yay, we've got more strength. It just got weakness. And it's just continuing down. I don't know what the hell happened. Either the market, is the market going down? Let's take a look. Did the market get some news? No, market's up. It's just this one. People are taking profits. And yeah, so maybe I was right on both. But if you traded them, great. But UiPath, you can read that article. One that I brought up in the live was that I was interested in was Lennar. And this is home builders. You guys know I'm big on BLDR. But Lennar, they kind of disappointed. And I said, this worries me in that you broke out above that range. So I said to the live folks on Zoom, I said, you better, and you can replay this. If you're a paid subscriber, you can replay this. I said, you better have stellar earnings to support that breakout. If you don't have stellar earnings, you're coming back down here and you're going to come back down to 153. At that point, you buy it because it's right within this range. This is the range that you want to buy this stock in. You don't want to buy it on the breakout prior to earnings because the earnings, you can trade it on that earnings, but the revenue slacked. I went over this. I didn't trust it at all-time highs, and the Bollinger Bands were not cinched up enough for me. That range, I just drew that range. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Robinhood. They released their asset classes in February. Everything rose. I mean, everything rose. So, like I said, Hood, I mean, in my mind, I would rather hold Schwab than Hood. Doesn't mean that Schwab is going to go soaring higher. It makes me feel better knowing that a company has good products and good earnings and good management and everything good about it. Schwab has that mix. Robinhood does not. That's just, again, that is my assumption on this. Nothing more than my assumption. Apple supplier Foxconn, which is FXCOF, they blew it away. FXCOF. I think that's let's see. They're FXCOF. It's a over-the-counter pick, so TrendSpider doesn't have it. But they soared. This kind of tells me that maybe Apple is just under the radar and undervalued. I mean, they're up 1.2% today, up to 173.18. 173.15 is where the algorithm got you in. It's just kind of capitulating. And if we look at a long-term chart, Apple is capitulating. And the guess on Apple is, where's it going to go? I mean, I think your support is that 168 right there. You're sitting, if you get this with a 1.6 handle, I think you take it. And you take it for the long term. Look at how far this the MACD has gone down. We can draw the divergence here. That's clearly going down. The RSI clearly going down. Where's the price going? Well, during this time, both of these times, the price hasn't really gone down that much. Yes, it's gone down. But you've also hit this top part right here. You haven't hit the top part again here. So you've got this trading range that you've got in, ever since June of last year, where it's just between, this kind of range. It's between your 168 and 198. So in my mind, I'd rather buy on the bottom side. If I get more opportunity to buy on this side, I'll buy it. But with Foxconn, blowing things away with the AI boost and Q4 profit soars, kind of tells me everything's okay. Profit's not soaring on Fisker. They're going to blame it on MKPHD. I love this car. The design of this car was really good. The problem is, like I said, it's just a shitty company. And Henry Fisker's just shady. I mean, he's just a shady dude. They should have gotten Apple CarPlay in here. They should have said to Apple, hey, we want your software no matter what it's going to cost, and we're going to put the two-car solution, the two-screen solution that you guys have in CarPlay, we're going to put it in our EV. Boom. You've all of a sudden got the Apple car. You've all of a sudden got the first car that's out there with this. And it's an EV, and you've got some pretty good pricing on it, and you've got $7,500 rebate on it. Boom. Boom. Done. I love Fisker. I thought it was good, but no. SOUN. This one is soaring. Charlie last night. This is SoundHound. All the AI names are soaring. BBBY. I mean, you can go and look at them. They're soaring. This one's Pavan asked me yesterday, hey, is it going to 10? Yeah, it went to 10 before he even finished typing his question. SoundHound is just flying. The news on SoundHound is that they will present with NVIDIA next week on at the NVIDIA's event on the 18th. That's the news. I mean, that's the news. That's all it was. European Union passes first global AI regulation. This is a company, if you want to watch, go and look up ZipTrader on YouTube and watch Charlie's video from last night. He does a great job of outlining exactly what they do with software speech. What he doesn't do a good job of is hiding the fact that he's completely pumping that stock. By the way, Dick's Sporting Good, they didn't react to earnings. Now it's up 20%. They just blew it away. I mean, retail is blowing it away. But SoundHound. I mean, I can't argue with the fact that this is going really well. Year to date, you're up 370%. The valuation is absolutely nuts. Now, do I think that they have an opportunity? Yes. Do I think they're actually going to turn a profit? No. I think they've got some contracts out there. I think this is hype. I think you trade this on a short time frame. Again, the algorithm got you in at $1.72. If you didn't believe when NVIDIA started, it came out that NVIDIA invested in this and it was at $4, why would you buy it at $9? Again, your story has to make sense. If you're just saying, oh, I believe it now at 9, then trade it on a short term. Don't tell me you're going to buy it at 9 and it's got absolute, positive reading going forward. I brought this up a number of times. So if you didn't believe in this at 4, I didn't buy it at 4. I'm not buying it at 9. But if you didn't believe it at 4, why would you buy it at 9? You're going to trade it. You're going to trade it. But just to tell you, BMR is another AI solution. This is Beamer Imaging. This one was way up as well. This one is just, you can see it. It's got an algorithm. Algorithm gets you in at $6.80 yesterday. I'm not following this one. If you want to look at Beamer, BMR, these guys do, what do they do? Image AI provides video encoding, transcoding, and optimization in Israel, blah, blah, blah. The company offers a suite of video compression software. Yeah. I don't know what's pumping this one, but among midday movers, Beamer Imaging files for 200 mixed security shelf. It might go back up to this 15. Again, strong buy from the quant, strong buy from Wall Street. There's probably 2 people that follow this one. Yeah, there's one. There's one analyst that follows this one on Wall Street. So ignore that strong buy. But the quant loves it. The quant loves it. And the quant has loved it for a while, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The quant started at $7 on 3/1. Yeah, it's been 14 days. That's quite a while in this company's life. So BMR up 5% today. You can trade it. I would say this is a trade just like SOUN. And just to prove that I know nothing, that I'm just a moron on the internet. I am one of the douches. GCT. Everybody's been asking me about GCT heading into earnings. I don't know what to tell you. All I know is that GCT was way up yesterday. We can talk about GCT. I think it was up like 15% yesterday, something like that. It's down 0.47. But just to show you that I know nothing, I went over this one and I said, hey, don't trade it. Don't buy it. I don't know anything about it, but it's up, 1 year, 627%. Oh, year to date, it's up 109% in 2.5 months. And to further prove I know nothing, I think it was, I forget who it was. It might have been Ted on Facebook or somebody or Sam asked me about here. Turtle Beach. These are the guys that make headsets. I said, yeah, don't do it. Earnings, it's already run. You can do it, but it just doesn't look promising. Effer's up 28% today because they're buying somebody to acquire performance design products in a $118 million deal. I wasn't right about that. You know what I was right about, though? When I told you a stock that I do know, a stock that I've watched, a chart that I've watched, when I said buy this under 30 and you had your opportunity after the earnings to buy it under 30, did I buy it? No. Not my thing. I bought Apple. I was looking more long-term. I'm a significantly longer-term investor, and I'm not a gambler like this. On, clothing, not my thing. I should have bought this instead of Nike. I still own like $1,000 of Nike. I got to get out of that completely. It's not my thing. I'm not excited by this stuff. But on, buy it under 30. It's at 32 today. You've got a gap that's up here at 33.65. Want to make some money? That gap's going to get filled. You can buy this one. Again, you've just got to understand there is a shelf that's being put in at $30. So I'm right on some stuff, not right on others. Palantir, they had some pretty big insider sales, and they're going off about short sellers. The CEO, Alex Karp, went off about the short sellers. Look at these insider sales. Peter Thiel, first time he's ever sold $175 million worth of shares at $24.79. That's probably just like, hey, I've got to pay my gardener to do the hedges on my house. That's how much money Peter Thiel has. It's not like he's cashing out of his entire position, but that's pretty big. That to me tells me, hey, maybe 24 is kind of the number that we're looking at for Palantir. So you want to take a look at that one. Palantir. Co-founder Peter Thiel sold $175 million worth in over a year. Yeah, insider ownership diagram. When insiders sell, you can see it's red when they sell. So TrendSpider caught that one. Tesla. Don't try and time Tesla. Tesla right now is one of those companies that's a little bit broken. I said Google was broken. I think Google is not as broken as Tesla. I maintain that this one is, guy I used to work with, Gerald Levin, just died at 84. He was the CEO of Time Warner. Wow. But Tesla, you have no confirmation. Don't try and time this one. I think it gets worse. Take a look at the long term of Tesla, okay? It doesn't mean that we're putting in some type of capitulation, but you're under the 200-day. The last time we got under the 200-day was 2019. You traded at a value of about $14. That's just we've had a bunch of a couple of splits. So the $14 wasn't actually $14. It was more like about $200. But at the time, it was $14. It spent, let's look at the time period here. We're looking at, it took 43% to get back above the 200-day, but that was 4 months. We are, let's see, so far, since it broke that 200-day, we are 1 month. Have patience. We are 1 month and we are 17% down. Have some patience. Yes, if you're in Tesla, my mom has a ton of Tesla, doesn't want to sell Tesla, doesn't want me to even talk about Tesla. So, yeah, have some patience. It got downgraded. Just have some patience. You can read this article. UPS lowered their price target from 225 to 165, maintains neutral rating. Doesn't mean that you buy it here at 165. Average price target for Tesla right now, I think it's still 200 if I'm not mistaken, 209. So there's still bullish sentiment in here. I just think that PE at 39 and 41, they haven't given guidance as far as the number of cars they will deliver. That's the problem I have with them. It's the disruption of Elon Musk. It's a lot of things. The disruption in Berlin, all of those types of things, I just think are a problem. Musk doesn't have a friend on the left side of the aisle. He doesn't have a friend on the right side of the aisle. Yes, Trump met with him. Trump still doesn't like him. Trump will, get in bed with him because, he probably likes the fact that he brings some votes. But I don't think he trusts him. It is what it is. People ask me about CELH. Shay is all over CELH. I'm often asked whether or not it's too late to get into CLH since it's at all-time highs. He doesn't think it's too late. It's at all-time highs. So if you want to get into CELH, go ahead. I think Monster Beverage might be a better value of it. I think we've broken out above this range that I highlighted here. I think you've got it's justified. It's justified. The earnings are justified there. One thing that I want to point out, Supermicro. This is a great article, by the way. Is it undervalued despite its rich valuation according to CanSlim model? You can read this. This is a great article. And I do think that SMCI, I think it's the better play than NVIDIA. So the way I think about this, and it's hard because NVIDIA creates the product that SMCI actually installs. So you can't have SMCI be positive without NVIDIA being positive as well. But SMCI, in my mind, has the undervalued part because I think they're going to grow more than NVIDIA. I think we're running right up against when these two started breaking out together. If we go to a weekly on here, and you go back to May of last year, this is the January earnings. This is the May earnings right here. So that candle right there which is a 30% candle. They were trading at about the high was 143. So if we go to 143 and we just go to the next earnings, you're talking about 153% gain there between the two highs. Okay. And then for the rest of the summer until December, you really just capitulated in SMCI. You didn't go up. So it put in that nice shelf, that nice capitulation right there. And then you shot up. And you shot up from this earnings. This was NVIDIA earnings right here that really shot this one up. You're up 292% since then. We have to put in some type of shelf here for this one to get another leg up. And I think you're seeing it, but it's not, nobody's waiting for it. That's the problem, is nobody's waiting for it. And so I don't know if this one or NVIDIA is the better option. I'm in both. In my brokerage account, I have both. I haven't touched a cent of this since I started May of last year. I started investing in NVIDIA. And then in SMCI, I started getting in July of last year. Both are sitting there as long-term buys. Both have not been touched. The ones that I've traded have been in my retirement account. So it's about strategy and understanding that strategy. So that's kind of where I'm at. That article on SMCI is really, really good. Ryan Lacey from Spotify. Akamai, Dan Ives, AI recommended, Datadog, and Melly. Akamai I like. I have a friend that worked for Akamai, and so I have some inside knowledge about Akamai. It's been a few years since I talked to him. I wasn't impressed with what I heard. Ex fellow employee that I worked with moved to Akamai. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I mean, I just don't trust it. Now, I can't argue. The stock has really done well. I mean, this is part of the AI thing. You're up above your 200-day. You're about to get your golden cross. I don't think it's a bad one. In my mind, I just don't trust it. And it's hard for me because that is a chart that I would say absolutely you have to get in. I would absolutely agree with Dan Ives' valuation on this. Akamai for me would be the problem is when I know somebody who worked there, and I know the inside stories and they weren't good. That's where I'm kind of at. So Akamai, I trust Dan Ives. Am I putting money into this? Probably not, but that chart looks good. That chart looks really, really juicy. Datadog, I've gone over this one. They had their earnings. There's no more catalyst in this one until the next earnings. I think the algorithm has you in at 123.59. You're at 120 right now. You don't have confirmation. I think you look at this 200-day right here as your probably your support level. I mean, Datadog, you got this gap here from 2 earnings ago. Their earnings weren't like completely unbelievably good. So their guidance wasn't great from what I remember. Melly, another story. I mean, Melly is one of those that, hey, it probably will go back to its 200-day, its all-time high. So you're at here 1,500. You're using it. You can clearly see. I mean, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see just how much that 200-day is providing resistance. How much that 200-day is providing resistance. Now, the question is, do we continue to provide resistance against that 200-day as the 50-day comes down to finally get a death cross, or do you break above that 200-day and then fill this gap up to 1795? I think you fill that gap up to 79. Are you coming down? The problem I have with Melly is, again, this is described as the Amazon of Latin America. So your PE is 80. Your forward PE is 32. If we go to Amazon, your forward PE on Amazon is 32. Your PE is 61. I'd want to invest in Amazon before I go to Melly. So if you have Amazon and you want to diversify a little bit into Melly, go ahead. I don't think it's a bad thing. But if you don't have Amazon, Ryan, why are you getting into Melly? I mean, that would be my question. Why are you getting into Melly? If we go and we look at the two, we'll look at Melly versus Amazon, because I think that this, it doesn't always tell the story about which one, because Amazon has had some really bad a couple of quarters here. We can look at Amazon right here. We're going to junk that. But let's take a look at this. Amazon 1 year, 91%. Melly, 28%. 3 year, Amazon 14%. Melly, minus 1.8. 5 year, Melly doubles it up. So, again, I think Amazon probably has a better bet of beating Melly. That's just me. Just me. I'd rather have... I don't own Melly. I own Amazon. Shep, VOOG. I went over VOOG. That's the growth one. Shep, I went over that. It's Vanguard growth. S&P 500 growth. Go ahead. Get it. I like what was it? XLG, XYG, something like that. I went over that just a couple episodes ago. Dell. Dell's a good one. It's going to cover the gap back. I mean, don't have strength in it right now. There's no strength. The MACD's crossing down. It's fine. I mean, if you want to invest in, I'd rather invest in SMCI than Dell. If you want to, Dell for me, I don't think it's overvalued at all. I think it's fairly valued with a PE of 25, forward PE of 12. SMCI, PE of 92, forward PE of 39. But I think SMCI blows away Dell in the growth area. And so that's where you've got to measure, okay, do I want the growth company? It's just like Robinhood and Schwab. Do I want the growth company, or do I want the company that I know is going to continue to provide good, solid returns? It's just a matter of, whichever one you want, Shep. But VOOG, I definitely went over for you. Jared, Intel and Sentinel. Sentinel, broken stock. They gave crappy guidance. Do not get into this one. Go with CrowdStrike or Palo Alto, one or the other, or Zscaler. Those are the three. Intel, I own a bunch of Intel. I'm not happy with the performance of Intel down here at 42. It is down another 1.4%. Should have just bought NVIDIA at that time. I don't know why I bought Intel. Should have just loaded into NVIDIA. The gap at some point, I think, gets filled at 49. The problem that you have is they can't get out of their own damn way. So I wouldn't get into it. If you had a chip company, I'm telling you, right now, Seeking Alpha likes AMD. They have AMD as far as their quant goes. If you go and you look at their quant, it's a strong buy at 4.89. It's got a C on valuation, A on growth, B+. I think AMD is probably one of the best ones that's in there, because it doesn't need to lead the group, just needs to kind of play second place to NVIDIA. So I would look at AMD rather than I look at Intel. Doesn't mean that you buy it right now. It's got no strength whatsoever. But it does mean when you start to see some strength in this one, you can add to it. Start adding to it. Make sure that you're positioned correctly in this market. I mean, we just made a major turnaround in the market. I'm seeing down 2% on a lot of stocks. NVIDIA is down 3% at 877. PanW is down 2% at 283. Palantir is down 2% at 24. Qualcomm is down 1%. SMCI is down 4%. Simon Property Group down 1%. Tesla's down 2%. So we're seeing some pretty good weakness in this market. Shop is down below where I bought it at 78.29. I think I bought it at 78.50 if I'm not mistaken, maybe 77.50. I don't know. Uber, it's under $80. Go and get Uber. I mean, there are plenty of stocks in this market that are putting in this sideways move right now. And the question is, with a sideways move, are you going to go up or are you going to go down after that sideways move? And in my mind, as you see this Uber trading sideways right here with this MACD pulling down, with the RSI pulling down, that's divergence right there. And you're putting in this shelf right here at 77. You're putting in that shelf. Doesn't mean that you can't go down here to 71. Doesn't mean that we have some type of event that pulls us down. But in my mind, I think we're set to go higher. It's just my thought. I'm adding to my positions. VOO, scans. We got another bullish cross up on VOO. It hasn't gotten you out since what? January 11th? January 10th at 436. God, I mean, this is an S&P tracking fund. January 10th, right here. If you're listening to the algorithm, you're up 8% in a freaking index. In an index. You know what my 4-hour algorithm does? 26% on VOO. You know what you get over 24 months? 22%. If you didn't add VOO at 436, why are you adding at 472? It's a bullish cross up, but my question would be, down here, the MACD was way lower. Down here, the RSI was even higher at 64. So you had to feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm sorry, it was, let's say it was 63. 63. Right now, your RSI is at 56. You know, your MACD's a little bit more extended, not much. Your 200-day has moved even more positive. Your 50-day has continued on that line. All of your moving averages are positive. So if you didn't add here at 436, what's changed your mind? And you've got to answer that question. Don't just add blindly. You've got to answer the question. Goldman Sachs, next core portfolio that we've talked about it. This one, for quite a while, has been putting in this. Look, it rejected off that top line. It rejected off, but it got a buy-in today at 392. You're trading at 388. Do you think this one's a good buy? If you didn't add back here at 385, after their earnings, you got in at 379? Why are you adding today? Again, the question is, why are you adding today? Is it because the MACD has finally settled down here? Is it because you've been trading sideways on the RSI? Is it because the action is just trading sideways? In my mind, the good add on this one is anything around 386. It's going sideways. I think we're going back up. Next one that's gotten a cross up, Oxy. You're up 1%, 0.69 today. Solid move. I mean, if you didn't add at 59, you don't have to add up here at 62. I've said it for a long time. The buy on this one is under 60. The sell on this one is over 60. But we got another MACD cross up. Another potential move. Oil is moving. I've said it before. Exxon. This one hit 109 the other day. It's at 110. Solid move. Again, you had the golden cross right here on March 4th. Energy seems to be coming back. Next one, Snowflake. We finally had the cross up. I've been telling you guys, I've been buying Snowflake down on this level. It got a cross up here at 165. It's at 159. If you didn't add Snowflake after their earnings at 187, but you've wanted it and you're going to wait, why are you waiting? I mean, again, I've pointed this out on the weekly many, many times. My algorithm loses you 54% on this. Buying and holding, you're down 0.02. But I've said on this one, and I've been very clear, this is the trading range right here. So you're getting to the middle of this trading range at 159. You're getting to the middle of that trading range. Do I think we go down? We could. We could hit 140s on this. I'm not too worried about it. I think when you hit the 140s, you bounce back up to the 200s. It's an expensive stock. This is hype, but this is the range that I'm trading in. MicroStrategy. I've said it before. This one is up. No, I'm sorry. It's down 4% in the market right now. We're kind of putting in that, but it just never stops. Again, my algorithm makes you 854%. I talk about this because if you're not getting a hold of this algorithm for the St. Patrick's Day sale on TrendSpider, $5.95. I don't want to sell it too hard because there are people who have systems that work, but I want you to understand, I think this algorithm provides me personally such a solid reason to buy. When I look at it and I see that the stock is in, or I see that the MACD is about to cross up, or I understand exactly why this algorithm works, by just looking at the formula. That's it. Then I can make my decisions better about buying and holding. So one that we got to cross up on, BRKB. This is Berkshire. Berkshire has it's been on a solid path. And you know what? Look at that nice little capitulation here between 400 and 412. It's going higher. I mean, look at how it's putting in that price target to go higher. This divergence right down here of the MACD and the RSI down. Meanwhile, you're just kind of, sitting around in the same thing. The Bollinger Bands have cinched up. 408.15 is the buy. You're trading at 405. I think you're fine. Again, this is a solid one. Two sectors that crossed up, XLF. I called XLF as probably the best bet from January. If we go back to January and we look, I wrote in my paid newsletter in December, I said that XLF would probably be the performer of the year. Well, let's just go back to January 2nd, where we were trading at 37, and let's see where we are today. Had you taken that trade, you're up 8%. You're up 8%. I mean, that's a great trade. You're up 8%. So, the XLF, XLG, which is the S&P Top 50. This one, I purchased this one on the way up. I mean, look at the algorithm on this one. The algorithm makes you 43% on this. Whereas buying and holding makes you 29%. I don't suggest trading this one, but if you did buy, you bought it on January 9th at $37, $37.77. You're all the way up here. Nice 10% move in that one. Zscaler, I said, as far as cybersecurity goes, 3 companies that I think that come to mind for me: Palo Alto I own, CrowdStrike I own, and Zscaler. 202.46. You lose 5% on this one versus gaining 6% on buy and hold. But take a look at where you gain on these stocks. It's when you buy under the 200-day. Zscaler's under the 200-day. Weak earnings doesn't mean that it's going to stay there. Just means that it's got more a way to pick back up. I don't think the earnings were that bad on Zscaler to say, oh my God, you've got to stay out of this one. Zscaler, again, Palo Alto and CrowdStrike, I own. The dip is well worth buying. Here it is from Tuesday, March 12th. So make your prediction, use my newsletter. Look at these Datadog. We talked about that one. Marriott, Copart, ADP, General Dynamics, MasterCard. In the energy, UCO. Is oil going on a run again? Because if you think oil's going on a run again, UCO's the buy. UCO, my algorithm loses you a bunch of money. But you can clearly see when you buy under this 200-day, if it goes over that 200-day, you're golden. Again, you want to be careful with UCO. It's a triple levered Bloomberg crude oil. But currently in this algorithm run at 29, it's up at 31. You're up 10% in 33 days. 10% on 33 days. Again, that's just an algorithm buy. I look at this one as, okay, if I've got good confirmation above the 9-day, the MACD is right on the oscillator. The RSI is at 50. This was a solid move. And so far, the MACD hasn't gone up. Even though you're up 10%, the MACD hasn't gone up a tremendous amount. The algorithm hasn't gotten you out. You're still in, but this one's continuing to go up. And if oil's a good one, UCO. Levered ETFs, UPRO. UPRO. Let's see how the algorithm performs on this one. UPRO, 47%. 2 years ago, if you bought it, you're up 31%. You're in this current run. You just got another MACD cross up. I think we're heading into another bull run. I think we've been capitulating on some of these, but I think you're going on a bull run. Just my take. So, okay, I am done. Remember, there are sales going on. First sale is TrendSpider. I talked about that algorithm, how good it is. It is $500, $595. You go to Linktree. You click on Linktree. Click that link right there. And you're going to get to the page. You sign up. Then what you do is you click on this link, which is an email, dailystockpick3@gmail.com. You email me from the email that you just signed up using my link with TrendSpider. After that, you get I send you a welcome letter where you import my algorithms, the 4-hour, the 65-minute, all of the watch lists, and all of the scanners that I use. Everything that I use, you can use. I'm not selling you a system. I'm selling you the ability to do your scans and do this yourself. Yes, it's a lot of work. I don't want it to, it's not plug and play. Don't expect to just get this and understand everything if you've never done charting before. If you've done charting, great. If you haven't done charting, I would suggest getting a free tool like Active Trader Pro from Fidelity, like Webull. You can get the Webull desktop software, which is right here. Join Webull, the 4th link down. You get from some free stocks as well. Understand charting. So understand charting and then go to trend. TrendSpider is just like putting a rocket booster on your charting stuff. That's all. It's taking the training wheels off. The next tool is a $50 off coupon on Seeking Alpha Premium. You guys know I go to Seeking Alpha all the time. You get access to this quant rating. You get access to all the analysis with Seeking Alpha Premium. It is an unbelievable deal, $189. This is a must-have for, in my mind, everybody, because there's a couple of things that you can do in here. You can import your portfolio. It gives you a grade on your portfolio. The other thing that it does is it allows you to read all the articles, see all the factor grades, compare all the stocks. I really, really think this is a fantastic, fantastic tool. The third link down here is Alpha Picks. And Alpha Picks are for those people who just want to sit back, get fed 2 stocks, when to buy, when to sell, 2 per month, and have your portfolio grow. Simple as that. They're up 105% versus 32%. I give you a $50 off coupon, $449 for the year. And there is a webinar tomorrow where they will go over the stock that they pick for the second one in March, and they will also go over the reasons why they do it. That's part of the value of $449. They are incredible, incredible analysts that go over reasons for these. They're not all winners. Nobody is 100% on winners. I saw Jim Cramer last night talking about how he's owning his mistakes. Well, he went over how he owned the mistake of investing in Johnson & Johnson. He didn't own it. He blamed it on management lying to him. He didn't own Facebook. He blamed it on management lying to him. He didn't own the mistake. He just said, I made a mistake, but I was lied to. And you've got to be careful because in this business, you're lied to. Douchebag. What a douche. These guys, again, Google Jim Cramer Investment Club compared to the S&P. You'll see there's nothing out there. These guys put it up on their webpage against the S&P. Do not pay Jim Cramer $700 a year. Pay these guys $449 a year. That's that. If you're thinking of Jim Cramer, again, it's a simple tool. My suggestion, though, the 2 tools that I do think that you need if you're going to manage your own portfolio is TrendSpider and Seeking Alpha Premium. Alpha Picks, I think, are for those people who are just a little more passive. But either way, you should join Webull. And make sure you're signed up to my newsletter. If you want the live stuff where I do Zoom, I sit there and I talk with you. I mean, you can get on camera with me. You can ask me any question that you want. I'll look at a live stock chart with you. I'll look at anything that you want. You don't even have to, it can be chat. There's some people that are shy. They don't want to get on camera. You can set me up. I'm like one of those little wind-up toys where you pull him back, and then he shoots forward. Ask me a question, pull me back, shoot me forward. I'll talk forever. So there you go. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Okay, I went on a little bit longer than I wanted to. No, Brandon, their forward guidance was horrible. Morning, Pavin. SOUN, I think I went over with you. If you didn't buy it at 4, Pavin, why are you buying it at 10? I mean, there's just not enough information out there to know if you want it. If you didn't buy it at 4, why are you buying it at 10? Hopefully you heard that rant. If you didn't, rewind. Because it was a good one. But it's true. It's true, Brandon. I am a wind-up toy on that sense. And it's at the end of the episode, so like 4% of the people who listen will hear it. Pavin, let me see this. Let me look at this. Let's look at SOUN on the 65-minute. It kills. It kills. So do not buy SOUN when it's at, the buy-in is at 586, but you're at 881 on the 65-minute. The 65-minute kills on this. It kills. Don't have FOMO. Don't have FOMO. But wow, we really took a leg down, I think. But I tell you what's going to be interesting here. Hold on. I bet you my portfolio's up. I mean, with Apple up so much, let's see. Bum, 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 bum. I'm up 0.6%. Is Microsoft up too? Yeah, Microsoft's up 2%. Yeah, I mean, it's hit or miss what's up or down. I don't know that there's anything particularly like who is this? Message on WhatsApp. Oh, you motherfucker. We are going to block. Oh no, I'm going to report. Report and block. I'm going to delete. Delete chat. There we go. Ooh. Oh. Absolutely. Okay. We may have oh, I gotta show Brandon's cursing in here. Alpha Pix they want to come on the podcast. Interesting. That's interesting. They asked, do you want to be included in the Alpha Pix promotion and have someone come on? You sold out with no gain. Yeah, Microsoft had a dividend. They announced a dividend. It was like, what was it, 2-point-something% or something? Hold on, $2. Microsoft declared, God, there's so many things on Microsoft every day. Dividend news. 75-cent dividend. FYI, that is why Seeking Alpha Premium is so good. Look at what I just looked up. Look at what would have taken me like 25 minutes on another website with ads and stuff. Look at what I just did. That's why it's so good. Use that link, sign up for it. I mean, they are so good. I really, really just like the interface of this. The valuation is an F. Ignore that. I just don't think that they have OpenAI valued in here. I really, really don't. So that's just my thing. But dividend yield sucks. Okay, I am out of here. Costco and Microsoft trigger weakness on buying. I don't like this guy though. Yeah, I don't think he's a very good analyst. I think this is, yeah. But I'd agree with him, the Costco and no. Wait, you're not in Microsoft, Brandon? Don't get in here. No, I hate to say that, but I mean, we're going on another leg up. So I just don't understand why somebody would buy IONQ and not have Microsoft as a top 5 holding. Okay, good. Okay, with that, I am out of here. You guys have a great day.